Hello. How is everybody this evening? I'm just gonna give everybody a few minutes to jump on. I just got everything all set up. I got some cool papers here from Amazon, and I have some new files that I'm gonna be showing you tonight. And just say hello. I'm gonna try to jump on my iPad so I can see comments. Hi, Pamela. I'm gonna try to watch along on my iPad. Sometimes I don't always see the comments. Alrighty. How's everybody doing tonight? It's really cold out. I don't know if you guys are in the south or not, but I heard that there was record warmth down there, but up here in the north, it is freezing. It is so cold. We had an ice storm here, and it was really cold. I had like an inch of ice on my car today. It was so cold. How's all the weather where you guys are? It is so freezing. Alrighty. I'm gonna just jump on here. Let me see. Just give everybody a couple minutes to jump on. I hope that it's not frozen. There we go. Let me turn the volume down. Okay. Now I can watch along. Okay. Hope I'm not frozen. Okay, so I have something new I wanted to show you guys. I have some birds. So I went ahead and just kind of got started on this one, and it's not glued down or anything, and it's not sanded or anything yet. So some birdies, and we're gonna add some flourishes to it. I'm gonna paint those and just dress them. So we have some flourishes, and we're gonna add those on there. What do you think of these new birds? I thought they were kind of fun, and I added some different styles this time. I added these really cool papers that I got on Amazon. They're really thin, so they worked really well to decoupage. I can put the link in the group if you guys want to try these papers. They're really fun. So I just use the spray inks again. I use these fun little ink pads. I use the gray on this. I use the spray ink here and the spray ink here. And then I just use the black to just go around the edge on that one. This one's not finished yet, so we'll finish this one and we'll start on another one. Okay, and I also have to paint the flourishes. I drew some new flourishes for this one. I thought they were kind of fun to just change it up because I keep using the same ones. I'm like, oh, let's change it up a little bit. So these ones I've been letting dry for a little bit. So these are dry. So I'm going to just go and grab my sandpaper, and I'm just going to make sure that I get all of the excess off. I make sure this dries first. What's everybody up to tonight? Anything fun? Hopefully nobody's snowed in or having freezing cold weather. I'm jealous of everybody that lives in the South right now. I just got back from South Carolina, and my mom called me today, and she said they were having record high temperatures. She's like, you left too soon. And I said, oh no. She said it was like in the 80s today. And I said to her, well, reverse those numbers because it was 28 today here. Freezing. But we can't complain. Winter's almost over. We're at the end of February almost. All right, so I'm also going to distress this. I'm going to use the gray to distress this. I'm just going to move my sanding block, and I'm going to just kind of distress the edges of this one. Just kind of use it on a 45-degree angle and just go along the edge just to give it a little something. I really like this one. That way, if you didn't get all the way to the edge when you put this on, it doesn't matter. It's okay. There we are. And I'm going to put my bird back on there. And there he is. I like that one. All right. So this is what a file I was working on a while back, but I finally finished it. All I had to really do was just add the stands. I get like that. I'll get all the way to the very end, and then I got a million things going on. So I'm going to go ahead and do the bottom. And this is another one of those papers that are on Amazon. They're really fun. You get a whole pack of these. I get a whole bunch. And they come in these pretty packs, and you get all these neat ones. They come with like advertisements and all sorts of things. And you get like scripts. And they're great, and they're not expensive. You get like 100 sheets, I'd say. Something like 150. And I want to say like you can get that many for around like, I think around $10 to $15. So they're really not expensive. You get a lot. And for what we're doing for our purposes, you really are using such a small piece of it. All right. And if you don't want to go on Amazon, there's always Michael's, so you can use those fun $5 packs. I just want to change it out and try something new. All right, keep making a mess. I don't know why I'm doing that right over my bird. I am silly. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and distress those edges again. And I'm using the gray. These are the stamp pads you can get on Michael's. Those are the archival inks. They do make these in a larger size. Also, I want to give you a heads up. Always sand your wood first. I forgot to, and you can see it's all frayed. So don't do what I did. There's a fun tip. Make sure you sand your wood when you're doing like these parts. All right, so there's our next one. There we go. So I'm going to just kind of wrap up this one so we can start on another one. I was just kind of experimenting. I wanted to see how this was going to look first. Nothing like a failed file right on a live. They'd be like, maybe I don't like this so much. That would be awful. My goodness. Alrighty. Okay. I'm going to do this next one. I love these sanding blocks. These are fun. If you have like a cool like Dremel or something, like a powered one, that's even better. But these hand ones are not too bad, and they're pretty reasonable. You can get them for like $5 or less. Like Michael, I don't know about Michael's, but I know Lowe's has any hardware store. I haven't checked Michael's, but I'm sure they probably have something similar. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just distress that again. All right, what do you guys think of the bird? I've got a whole bunch of these birds, and I have something else new I want to show you. So hang on, because I have more. Oh wait, there's more. So, it's almost the weekend. What's everybody's plans for the weekend? Cleaning your craft rooms? Not me. No, I should. I really should. I shouldn't joke. I need to clean my garage, but it's too cold. I keep saying that. I'm like, well, it's too cold. I can't do it. I should clean my craft room. I should organize it. I say that every weekend, and I don't. There's really no excuse for it. But like once I start cleaning it, I find all of these fun things, and then I start playing. And I'm like, oh, but look what I found. I find all these cool things, and then I'm like, oh, was I cleaning? What was I doing? And then all of a sudden, before I know it, I'm crafting again instead of cleaning. All right, so there's our last piece. What do you think? You guys like the bird? What do you think of our bird? Ignore my gross fingernails. They're so gross. Yeah, I took my fingernails off. Like I had like a manicure and I ripped them all off. I can't stand having fingernails, so I always rip them off. All right, so I could distress this more, but I'm gonna put the flourish there, and I don't want to distress it too much. So there's that. I'm gonna I want to distress these first. All right, you know what I'm gonna do? because there's yuckies all over here. I'm going to grab another piece of paper towel. I got this big roll of paper towel on Amazon. I get these big giant rolls with those ones you see like in a public restroom, and they're cheap and they're awesome. And I feel like I'm never running out of paper towels when I buy these. All right, and they're really thin, so I feel like I'm not polluting too much. All right, so here we are. I'm gonna grab some white. All righty. I'm gonna put some white paint on here. I like to just kind of stipple it. This is just done with birch. I did the whole file in birch. This is just birch I got on Etsy. It's not anything exciting. I've had this for years. I've been so afraid to use birch that it's just been sitting and sitting and sitting. And I've been using MDF for so long, and now all of a sudden I'm in love with birch again. And I don't know why I've been so afraid of it. I'm always like, oh, it's gonna break or it's not gonna work. And now I'm like, you know what? I really love birch. So I've been doing a lot of my files in birch. Some things that are really, really thin can break easily. That's the only thing about birch. Like it can be very brittle. So you want to make sure that you get like decent high quality birch. You don't want to get like the low quality stuff. I noticed that when you buy some of the birch at like Home Depot and stuff, especially like that, I think it's that, what is that, maple or something. I can't think of the name of the brand, but when you buy that, it's not exactly, when they say it's like 1/8, it's not, or it's 1/4, it's not. You got to make sure you measure that stuff. It's really off. So make sure that you measure it for like files that have to fit together perfectly. They can be really off. I think it's Columbia, I think is what it is, but just make sure that you always measure it before you cut for files that have to fit together perfectly. All right. So there's that one. I'm gonna let that dry for a second. And I'll go to the next one. So you guys are quiet tonight. Maybe I'm just not seeing the comments. Alrighty. What do you guys like to use? What is your favorite product? Like, what do you like? Do you like acrylics? Are you MDF fans? Birch? Maple? Like, what's your favorite? I'm just really into this right now. I'm like, I really love this birch. And it was just some stuff I got on Etsy. It really is not bad. It's a decent quality. I've gotten some bad stuff where it didn't cut all the way through. Back in the very beginning when I first started, I'm like, oh no. And it kind of like made me sad. So I stopped using it. And I just started using MDF like primarily on everything because it cuts so well. But now I'm like, I really like this. Now I've found a new love. I fell in love with birch again. All right. So I'm going to give that a second. All right. Hi, Amy. I'm going to give that a second to dry. What I'm going to do, I'm going to add a little bit of the gray again. So I'm going to come back to this one. And what I love about chalk paint is it dries so fast. So this is already dry. So I'm just going to come around here. I'm just going to like rough up those edges. And you can get around those edges like this. And I'm just going to just stress it. And I'm using the gray this time. Last time I did the brown, but I'm doing the gray. Because I'm kind of going with more of a cool tone on this one. So I want to go with the gray. Because there's blues and purples on this one. So I thought gray would look nice. And what you can do too, I brought a small brush. You know, take the brush and kind of put it in there too. And you can get those little hard to reach places. And get all inside there. If you can't reach in there with the ink pad, you can get there right in between. Because you don't want to get that all like everywhere. So if you want to do that, that's another option. I'm going to try that again. Keep doing that because I don't want to get that like everywhere. So I'm just going to do that again. Do it on an angle and just kind of just stress those edges. There we go. Do you guys like to distress or do you like to leave it nice and clean? I had somebody say, oh, that looks dirty. And I'm like, but that's what I was looking for. I like the distressed look. It's fun. There we go. I must have had something on my fingers. I'm transferring. Make sure your hands are clean. Don't be like me. Don't have messy fingers like me. My hands are dirty, especially on white paint. What a mess. All right, so there is my distressed piece. I add just a little bit more on the edge, and I want to get it right on there really good. I want to get that nice crisp dark line, so I'm going to go right in there with that. And I don't want to get it too much, just on some of those tips. So these were fun to draw. You should have seen how many of these I drew before I was happy with them. I did these in Procreate. I kept drawing them and drawing them and drawing them. I'm like, I'm not happy with that. So, and then I was finally happy with this one. I did a few. I think I drew about 50 of them. I think I kept like 4. There we go. There. I like the way that one came out. Add a little bit more down here. There we go. There. Cool. You stay with MDF? Yeah, I mean, I stayed with MDF for years, and all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? I'm really digging trying out some new things, and I'm branching out, and I'm trying acrylic too. I have a stash of acrylic. You wouldn't believe the stash I have of acrylic, and I'm finally using it, and I feel great about it. I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm finally using my acrylic. I feel like I hoard craft supplies. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna ruin it. It's gonna be ruined. So there's that. What do you think? I like that. And like, this doesn't have to be on here exactly where I like place it. I do provide in the file like a score line where these go, but you really don't have to stick with that. You can move this down a little bit if you want. It's really your preference. Like, you can put it there, you can move it up. I mean, it really just goes over the top anywhere you want it. So I'm gonna put it right there. All right, I'm gonna come back and do this next one. I'm gonna get this one here. There we go. So I decided I'm not gonna be afraid of using my craft supplies anymore. I'm gonna start using them. I really need to. I have like this collection of craft supplies. Like, I don't know if you guys have that too, if you have that problem. I buy craft supplies. I'm like, oh, I'll use it for this. And then I'm like, no, I'm gonna ruin it. I don't wanna use it now. And then I don't end up using it. And it's like, what's the point of buying it? What's the point of having it? Like, to sit on my shelf? I need to start using my craft supplies. I'm so silly. I need to start using them. All right, so here we are. I'm gonna come back with this again. There we go. So much fun. This is so relaxing for me. It's just sitting here crafting. I don't know if you guys find it relaxing. I used to be such a perfectionist, like, oh, it has to be perfect, otherwise it's bad. But now I realize, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. You know, imperfectly perfect is how I look at it. It doesn't have to be. Like, if you mess up, it's okay. It's all right. You can always recut something if you don't like it too. All right, so there's my other little piece. What do you guys think of my bird? Fun? So that's one option you can do for this bird. I have more birds. I'm loving these birds. All right. So I have another bird. This is a different style bird, but I'm really excited to show you. So I have a file of birds. I'm excited. I want to show you guys these. All right. Let's do this one. I have birdhouses. What do you think of the birdhouses? They're little birdhouses. One of the pieces broke, so I put a different one on here. And it doesn't matter. Like, you can switch these flourishes out. You can put any ones you want on there. So there's a variety of flourishes you can put on here. Doesn't matter. I mean, you can really mix and match how you put them on. So here we have this here with a little bird. I love these little birds. I drew these birds, like, I want to say it was like over 2 years ago, and they've been sitting on my iPad forever, and I'm finally using them. Like, I really want to use these birds that I drew, and I'm like, I've been wanting to do these little birdhouses, and I decided I'm going to finally get it done. So there is my little bird and the birdhouse. So I have some things picked out for this. I kind of want to stick with the same kind of theme. So I'm going to put my little bird off to the side. And you can do his little wing. Like, we can like decoupage his little wing. Really, we can do a lot of different things with this. So for this one, I give an extra piece for this just so it can add dimension. You don't have to use this piece if you don't want to. I prefer it just because it gives that extra piece, that dimension there. So there's that. And then I'm going to paint the middle. I'm going to do like black just so it creates another like dimension. So I'm going to take all these pieces off so I can paint that. And these are all scored, so you know where to put them. So make sure you set that to score when you go to cut. Because you don't want to have that all in pieces. I'm just going to move this out of the way so that we can get started on doing this back piece. So here's the back piece. And I'm going to just go ahead. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to spray ink. Why not? I spray ink it. Oh, that is not black. It looks blue. Oh, maybe it's just gone bad. Silly me. And you know what? Nobody's even going to see this back layer anyways, so, because you're going to be covering it. Ooh, that one everywhere. All right. Okay. And that's all I really want for that, because I really want the wood grain to show a little bit through. Okay, so make sure that shows through. I want to have that black. So when I go to put these over it, I want to make sure that that is black. See? All right. And you're not going to see anything through there. So that's how it's going to look. Okay, so deciding on what we're going to do for these top layers. What should we do with this one? I think we should do a decoupage. Let's take a look. I picked some out ahead of time. I think this would look really pretty. This is from a pack of papers that I got too. This is really pretty. I'm gonna do this one. And they're double-sided, which is really nice. So I got those. These are, I believe this is the brand, just looking, Asuka, and there's Memory Place. Those are the brands. I picked them up at our local craft co-op. Okay, Little Birdie, I think, is another one. They're all really cute. They come in these little packs, and you can get them at like, I get them on like Amazon too. Okay, so I'm gonna pick this one. I really love this piece here. So I'm gonna make sure when I flip this over, I get that. Make sure when you flip it, you flip the other side too. I guess it doesn't matter if I mess up because there's a beautiful pattern on the back too. All right, so I'm gonna get my pen and I'm going to trace so you guys can see. So here's me tracing. I'm gonna just move all this stuff. So I'm going to trace it, try to line it up. And like I said, you can do this on your, you can do this on your laser too. I just prefer to do it by hand. That's just easier for me that way. Okay, so I'm going to put this back. And I'm going to cut it. Either side is pretty. They're both really pretty sides. I'm probably going to use both sides on this. because they're really pretty. I love when the paper is double-sided. All right, there we go. And I will cut out a circle. Okay, I'll do my best. Circles are like really hard to cut. But that's what the sandpaper's for. If we don't get it right, sand it. All righty. Cool. And there's our piece. So we have our decoupage. And that's just, remember, 50-50 white glue and water. And remember, when you use this, have yourself a special brush because it is hard to get out of the brush. So I always have a special dedicated brush for this. I ended up having to throw my last one out. I had to get a new one because it does just get really hard after a while. And after a while, you just have to get a new one. But make sure that you keep a special brush for this. There we go. And make sure you put enough on here too. Really, because it just absorbs right into the wood. All right. Everything on my fingers is like sticking. My fingers are filth. Okay. I really need to clean my fingers off. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick that right on there. There we go. There. And I'm going to go ahead and get some more. And I'm just going to rub it on. Took a little bit too much. But I'm going to just kind of stick it on there. And I'm going to let this dry. I really love this paper. This is so pretty. So I'm taking a class this week and I'm going to learn some new techniques. And I'm so excited about it. It's about jelly. I don't know if you guys ever heard of jelly, but I'm going to take this class. I'm so thrilled because I've never played with those jellies before. And I think that's going to be really fun. All right, so I'll have to report back to you guys. All right, so here it is. That looks really cool. All right, what do you think? My fingers are messy. All right, so what I like to do is I'm going to try to stick with something simple, I think, for these ones. I don't want to go too crazy and have too many patterns going on. So there's those. There we go. So I don't want to go too crazy. So I'm going to just always put them back on so I can see them all. All right, so I want to see what I want to do. I have, we can do the other side of this. What do you guys think? Should we do, I have some more of these fun papers. How about, let's do more of these. I think these are really fun. So this advertisement, that would be really cool. I'm going to do that one. I'm going to just kind of pick one at random. And what I like to do is I like to kind of alternate and put some of the spray inks in there just so it's not always too many patterns competing. Oh, making a mess. I got to make sure I clean that up before I work over in this space. So remember, you got to flip your piece over because you don't want to do it, otherwise it's the wrong side. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead, trace it. There we go. And I'll get my scissors. And I'm just cutting on those lines. I like to cut a little bit on the inside of the line so there's less to sand off. Okay. Flip this back over. Get my brush. Alrighty. And put that right on there. There we go. Oh, that looks fun. That piece we got there. I just thought these were really cute little birdhouses. You can do so many things with these. You know, you can do them for like Mother's Day. You can put little signs on the top. You can make something, you can personalize it, put somebody's name on it, like a little home tweet home or something. You know, there's so many things you can do with these little birdhouses. I just think they're so cute. I love birds. I had birds growing up. They're my pet birds. So I'm like obsessed with birds. All right. Oh, got a little bubble. Make sure you get all the air out. Especially with this thin paper, I tend to get a lot of bubbles in there. Okay. So there's that. I'm going to make sure I sand that when that dries. And I just like to kind of work around and see like, what else can I do? But I like to have it all like ready to go so I can see how they're all fitting together. All right. So for this one, I'm going to do a spray ink or maybe one of the ink pads. I think I'm going to do, because these are more warmer tones, I think I'm going to do the brown. I'm going to do the dark brown just so it like contrasts with the words on there. So I'm just going to go right ahead and just stick it right on there and just rub it. And make sure that you sand the wood so you don't rip up your ink. You don't want to rip up your ink pads. And I really like how nice and dark that is. And it looks like you stained it. See how cool that looks? It looks like you have actual stain, like wood stain on there, using these ink pads. Look at that. Look at that. That looks fun. So I'm also gonna distress those edges so they stand out a little bit more too. All right. And I think for this one, I'm gonna try a spray ink. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna try, I have an espresso spray ink. I just wanna see how that looks. That's a lighter brown. And that really looks cool too because it looks like actual wood grain. Look at that. It's a little darker in person. It looks kind of yellowy on the screen, but it's actually not. It's actually, it's a really nice, it's kind of like a walnut finish. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to do the edges with my dark brown. And if I wanted to add a little bit more distressing, I can kind of just lightly go right over it, just slightly. All right. Kind of looks like it's a real wooden birdhouse. There it is. What do you think so far? You guys like that? Yay or nay? Fun? I think that's pretty cute. All right. So for the next one, I think I want to do, I'm going to try something else. I'm going to try this like scripty paper. I think that would look really sharp. So I'm just going to grab some more paper towels so I don't make a mess. Because I'm a messy crafter. I don't know if you guys are messy, but I am super messy. All right. Especially when I use glitter. Don't even get me started on glitter. I'm a messy glitter person. Okay, so I'm going to just pull this piece off here. And don't forget to flip it over. And I'm going to get my pen. And because this isn't perfect, I'm just going to kind of draw it on here. I usually try to use like a straight edge on the paper, but the paper's kind of like jaggedy, like old paper. It's very thin. It's more like a napkin, this type of paper. All right, so there's my piece. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it. And like I said, try to cut it a little bit on the inside of the lines, less to sand. I apologize, I'm like kind of a little low energy. I'm just like a little tired today. It's been a long week for me. I just got back into town. And then I had physical therapy yesterday, and I had a million appointments I'm trying to catch up on from being out of town the last couple of weeks. And I am like, whew, I'm a little tired. And I have physical therapy again tomorrow. So my shoulder has just been sore. So I apologize if I'm a little bit tired tonight. But thank you for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Hopefully next time I'll be a little bit more energy. All right. I actually have much more energy than this. So I'm going to go ahead and look at that. Yep, I think I like that. All right, so I'm going to go get my decoupage. And I'm going to go ahead and add that right on there. This is just an imperfection in the wood. It had like a line in it. Making a mess. Actually, you know what? Rather than making more of a mess, I'm just gonna come back over here where I already have a big mess. There you go. There. Stick this on. With these thin ones, you really gotta make sure you get those bubbles out because it does bubble up. You get a lot of wrinkles. Okay, I love it. So I'm gonna let that dry. It is really fun. I'm gonna just set it over here because it's really wet. Okay. Next piece, I think I wanna do like, we could even do like a pink, like a rose. Let's take a look. Or we have, as another option, we have washi tape. And washi tape's always a fun experience. We have that. We could do that. What do you guys think? You guys are with me on this. What should we do? We could do that. Or we could do more of the stains. We could do, there's also this pretty blue we could pick up in here. I like the blue. I think I'm gonna pick up some of this. I think I'm gonna do the turquoise. That's what I think I'm gonna do. Here, I'll just leave this here. All right, so that's my sprayings here. And I'm just gonna kind of rub that in. That's what I love about the spray inks. They look like stains. It really brings out the color, like the wood grain and everything. And that's really pretty too. But you know what? I think it's a little bit too much. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna just stress those edges. Just so it's not so blue. So I'm gonna come back and I'm just gonna stress it a little bit. Look at that. And this is the black. Look at that, how cool that looks. Looks like old, like weathered wood. I like that. That looks fun. That's gonna look really neat. All right, for our last piece here before we do the roof, I'm thinking I wanna do the black. That's what I'm gonna do. Just so we stick with that same simplicity, because I don't want to go too crazy. Alrighty. Adding a little bit of the brown too. There we go. I feel like I could never get these back in correctly. There we go. There we go. What do you think? And then that will be our piece there. Alrighty. Oh, I like that a lot. Okay. So this piece does not need to be done because you're not going to see it. It's just going to be like a piece that just is like a standalone. It's just holding a place because this piece is going to go over the top. So you're not even going to see it. So we're going to leave that piece. We're not going to do anything with it. So we're going to come back now to this piece, the extra piece. If you wanted to like not cut this piece, then you'll definitely do that piece, but you don't need to if you cut the extra piece. So I'm thinking, I don't know, let's see. I think I really love this light shade, that espresso would look really cool. What do you guys think? The espresso? I think something like light like that would look really sharp. I also have Charming Chocolate. I could try that. I'm gonna try Charming Chocolate. It's all about experimenting. If we don't like it, it's not a big deal. Oh, look at that. Okay. So this is the Charming Chocolate. Oh, I love the wood grain coming out in this. So it's a little different shade than the espresso. So there's that. It looks really nice, like a nice wood grain. This looks like a little wooden birdhouse. So I'm going to go ahead and distress this again. And you can do so many different things. Like you can use sandpaper, so many things. These are fun. They're going to be up all night crafting. And I'm getting sleepy. So I'm just going to go ahead and just put a little bit. Can you guys see that? I kind of realize I'm off camera a little bit. So I'm just putting this on here. What do you think? You like it? I think that's pretty fun. All right, so now the bird. I'm gonna do the bird next. And we have the flourishes still. So I'm thinking I wanna do the bird. I might actually do the bird would be fun in a neat color. I could do the bird in like, I could do that in like purple, or we could do that pink color like we did before. That could be a fun option. Or we could do them white. What do you think? Well, we'll decide. I'm gonna go ahead and do the flourishes. I'm gonna grab my paintbrush. You know what I did? I mixed up my paintbrushes. See, that's why I do this all the time. I grabbed my white paintbrush, but that's okay. I just have 2 decoupage brushes now. That's what happens when you're working tired. Alrighty. I'm like, wait a minute. And here I am saying, make sure you don't mix up your brushes, and I did it. See? I'm so silly. So I'm just going ahead and I'm stippling on here. Just adds that nice texture. Okay, so there's that one. There we go. And so there is a different piece that's supposed to go on the top, but I broke it when I took it off the Glowforge. It got stuck on the wood and I broke it in half. So I had an extra one of these, but it's okay. I do have this one over here. I could use that one too. I could do that. That's another option. Let's do this one instead. Okay. This might be the one that's supposed to go on here because I know I accidentally broke it and I had recut it and I couldn't remember which piece it was. Alrighty. I think it's this one. There we go. There. Yeah, that'll look good. Okay, so I'm gonna let those dry. And for the bird, I don't know. Should we do the bird white? What color should we do the bird? Hi, Holly. You love the blue? I love the blue. Maybe I should do the bird blue. What do you think? I think the blue. Let's do blue. So I have tubular turquoise, blissful blue. I have so many of these spray inks. Let's do teal. What do you think? Should we do teal? All right, I'm gonna come over here and do it, just so I don't make a mess. Oh my goodness. I am making a mess. So I'm just gonna come back over here so you can see. So I did the bird blue. What do you think? You like the bird blue? There he is. There's my little bird. Oh, he's fun. Okay. And yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit of the brown on him, just so he stands out. You guys see that? Here's my little bird. I don't want him to look charred though either. There he is. He needs more blue on his legs. I'm gonna give him some more blue. I'll just give him a little bit more blue. There we go. There's our birdie. Oh, I love that. Okay, so, oh, look at that. I managed to spray ink all over my flourishes. See, I told you. I'm messy. And we gotta do his little wing. Here's his little wing. I want to decoupage his wing. That would be fun. How about this pretty pink? That'll really stand out nice. Let's do his little wing. I'm gonna fold this up so I don't make a mess. Okay. Pick out a pretty part. I like these flowers down here, so I'm gonna do these flowers. Alrighty. I'm gonna trace my little wing. Ah, my finger slipped. Okay, there we are. Does everybody have their kids? Do their kids have this week off for President's Week? We have President's Week off. The kids from school this week. Wasn't sure if anybody else has this week off. Their kids. It's been a fun week. And there's a little flower. There we are. And I'm gonna get my decoupage. And stick that right on here. There we go. And there's his little wing. What do you guys think of the little bird? Stick it in my finger. There he is. What do you guys think of him? I think he's so fun. All right, so I'm gonna come back. These are dry. And I'm gonna use this one here. I'm gonna use the brown on this to distress the, I'm gonna use a different, use the other one, to distress the flourishes. I grabbed the black by accident. It's one thing when these are flipped, they don't have the caps on them. You don't know if it's the black or the brown. I'm gonna grab this again, put my brush in it, and just so I can get those pieces on the inside. There's that distressing. Get those edges. Just come back and get some more. Just because I don't want that real bright white with the chalk paint. It just adds a little dimension when you do those edges. There we go. That black actually adds some nice dimension. All right. And just add a little bit more. There we go. And so I can just put this down here. It kind of adds a little bit to the flourish that's already on there. There we go. Love it. All right. And then our other piece, and I'll come back, I'm gonna sand those down. I'm just waiting for those to dry a little bit more. And I'm gonna add a little bit more to this one. There we go. And when I get my brush again to get those little spots that I can't reach. There we go. There. Happy little flourish. He's a happy little guy. And that's gonna go up here. There we go. What do you think? And then I just have to sand those down. All right, what do you think? You guys like it? All right, I'm gonna go ahead. I think these are about ready to, they're ready to sand. So I'm just gonna kind of scoot these off to the side because I really wanna sand these pieces here. And get my sandpaper, my block, and I'm gonna just move this off because I'm gonna sand it right here where I have this paper towel so I don't make a mess. And I definitely want to distress those edges. This really is much easier if you have like one of those Dremel tools, and then it would take like really just a matter of seconds, but it really isn't too bad when you use one of these blocks. Okay, you know, and my fingers are a little dirty, but you know what, it's okay because it's add a little bit to that distressing. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, add that edge. And it looks like old paper, like old antique paper. There we go. And there's that piece there. I'm gonna grab this other piece down here at the bottom. Actually, I need that piece. What am I doing? Oh, I'm sleepy. There we go. This one has a little wonky spot to it where the hole is cut out for the little birdhouse. I'm gonna get some new sanding blocks this weekend. This one has seen better days. It is falling apart. Okay. I'm gonna grab my little stamp pad. And I'm just gonna get those edges. I really love how that looks. That looks so cool. It just looks like burnt paper, doesn't it? That looks so neat. Look at that. Wow. I'm gonna do this piece next, this big giant one. All right. Oh, I love that. That really is fun. I like it. I don't really want to go too crazy on too much decoupage because I don't want it to like compete too much. You can see this dries really fast. We haven't been working too long and that's already dry. Use that nice corner just to make sure I get that round middle piece in there. How fun. There we go. All right. This thing has definitely seen better days. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead, add that distressing again. I think I grabbed the black one. I want to add the brown. There we go. It just looks like it's antiqued. Really antiqued looking. There we go. And if you want, you can just kind of rub. If you want to blend it, I use my fingers. And that's okay. There. All right. So there we have that. And I just want to make sure it lines up to the sides. And like I said, those pieces are all scored to help you locate where it has to go. And this lovely piece here helps guide it too. All right, there it is. And I will glue this a little later. I'm gonna let that hang out for a little bit. What do you think there? That's pretty fun. All right, so there's that. This isn't too hard. And you don't have to do all of this. Like, you can really like skip a lot of these steps if you don't want to do like so many different things. I'm just doing it for the video so you can see how many different things you can do. You really don't have to. All right, here's a little bird wing. Like, you don't have to decoupage the bird wing if you don't want to, but I just thought it'd be kind of cute. Our little bird. Such a small little piece. I may not decoupage all the wings on all the birds for the other houses. I just thought it'd be kind of cute to try it. So this is the medium-sized house. There's a bigger one and a smaller one. And the patterns are a little different on them. All right, here's a little bird. We'll put him on. And you can put him like where you want. Like, you don't have to put the bird on if you don't want to. I mean, he's totally optional. But if you want to, there's the bird. And then we have our flourish. There we have that. And then we have the other one. And I can kind of crisscross around there. And there we go. There's our house, our little bird house. What do you guys think? I'm trying to pick it up. You guys like it? What do you guys think of our little bird house tonight? That was a pretty fun project to do tonight. I think this will be a pretty fun set. I'd love to see what you guys make with it. I love watching all the things you guys make. Like, you guys think of things I don't think of, and I love seeing that. So here's our little friend. you know, you can really put the bird where you want. Like you can move him over more, a little closer to the hole. It's really up to you where you want to put the bird, or leave them off. And like you leave the flourishes off. If you don't want to do the flourishes, you can totally leave those off. Leave the bird off. It's really up to you. I really love how that came out. I am just loving that. So that's our little birdhouse that we made tonight. So there's our birdhouse. And I'm gonna go get the bird that we did earlier, I had started ahead of time, but we finished it together. So there's our little bird. So that's a different file. So these are 2 new files. And I'll show you the other birds. So there's our bird. And I'll show you the other houses. So this one's a little different. So here's our other little house. This is the small house. I thought that was really fun. And then this one is the biggest birdhouse. And this one has more options. And you can, you know, you have more slats you can put on. If you don't want to put the slats on, you don't have to. There's an option included in the file that just has the flourishes, where to put them, or you can leave them off, or you can just score the, you can just do the back layer and just have it scored, and then you can just paint over it and then just paint the slats. You don't have to cut them out and layer them. So there's a lot of different ways to make this. So that's another option. So there's that. And then we have another bird. We have this birdie too. So we have that one. So I'll work on these tonight and hopefully get these listed. I'm gonna try to get them listed tomorrow. I'm definitely gonna get them listed tomorrow. But I wanna get them finished up. I wanna get them staged for you guys. So you guys have any questions or anything tonight? Anything you want to see me do? You have any suggestions for new files? I did get some requests that I'm working on. I just working on trying to get them done. These were ones that I had already started before I left. So these were ones I just wanted to get finished. But I do have some on deck. But if you guys have any suggestions, I'd love to hear it, because I'm always willing to, you know, make what you guys want. So I hope you enjoyed this tonight. I'm sorry I'm very low energy. It's late and I had quite the day. I've been traveling this week. But thank you so much for coming on tonight, and I appreciate it. And I will be, I'm going to try to do another live again soon, hopefully this weekend. I am taking that class on Sunday, so hopefully I'll learn some new things that I can pass along to you guys. Alrighty. I will talk to you guys very soon. I hope you have a great night. Thanks for watching. Bye.